Hello everyone! For many decades now, scientists have been on a relentless quest to find planets beyond our solar system that might be home to intelligent life. Even though our observation tools are still somewhat limited in what they can detect, we've managed to discover a surprisingly large number of these planets out there. Some of them are extremely well known to anyone who's even slightly interested in astronomy, while others remain relatively obscure and not as widely recognized. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at some of the planets that were discovered fairly recently. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us here on our channel today. Of course, we've carefully selected some worlds that may potentially share certain similarities with Earth, just for you. Alright then, let's jump right in and get started. Gliese 514b. Kicking off this ranking is a planet that was discovered fairly recently, back in the year 2022. This planet orbits a red dwarf star known as Gliese 514, which lies about 25 light-years away from Earth in the direction of the Virgo constellation. Called Gliese 514b, this world is classified as a super-Earth, with a mass approximately 5 times greater than that of our own planet. While we still don't know its exact size, if it turns out to be significantly larger, its density would likely be on the lower side, meaning the gravity on the surface would still be within a tolerable range. This planet sits at a distance of about 0.4 astronomical units from its host star and takes roughly 140 days to complete a single orbit around it. Generally speaking, scientists tend to be somewhat skeptical when it comes to planets that orbit red dwarf stars. Red dwarfs are very dim, low-mass stars, but they're also known for being rather volatile and prone to releasing bursts of harmful radiation. In most cases, planets orbiting red dwarfs circle very close to their stars, become tidally locked, and are typically bombarded with high levels of stellar radiation. However, the Gliese 514 system and its planet appear to have a few advantages that set them apart from other systems of this kind. For starters, Gliese 514 falls into a subclass called M0VE, which is a specific spectral type designation. This makes it one of the hottest and most massive types of red dwarfs, almost reaching the point where it could be considered a miniature version of the Sun-like K-type orange dwarfs. Another positive factor is that Gliese 514b doesn't orbit all that close to its parent star. If the red dwarf were any dimmer, then for liquid water to exist, the planet would need to be huddled up right next to the star. But Gliese 514b doesn't rely on that and actually sits at a relatively comfortable distance. Because of this, there's a chance that this planet might experience a normal day and night cycle, much like what we have here on Earth. The one major drawback with Gliese 514b is its highly elliptical orbit, which scientists refer to as a high orbital eccentricity. While the planet usually remains within the habitable zone of its star, there are times when it drifts far enough away that it could experience bitterly cold winters, with temperatures plunging as low as -100 degrees Fahrenheit. Still, even if that's the case, if life has taken root on this planet, it's very possible that it's found a way to adapt and survive in such extreme conditions. Pi Mensae d. Pi Mensae is a star that lies approximately 60 light-years away from Earth and shares many characteristics with our own Sun. Under the right conditions, on a clear day, far away from city lights, and with excellent eyesight, it's even possible to spot this star with the naked eye. Until recently, astronomers had confirmed the existence of at least 2 planets orbiting this particular star system. The first of these planets is an enormous monster world with 10 times the mass of Jupiter, orbiting its star at a distance of about 3.3 astronomical units. The second planet, which is located extremely close to the star, is a scorching hot super-Earth with roughly 5 times Earth's mass. It whips around its host star at incredible speed, completing one full orbit in just over 6 Earth days. Recently, a new report announced the discovery of a third planet orbiting Pi Mensae, adding another intriguing member to this system. This newly detected planet is slightly heavier than Earth, weighing in at about 13 times Earth's mass, and it takes about 124 days to complete a full orbit. In other words, this world orbits fairly close to its star and sits in a relatively tight orbital path. Still, there's something especially intriguing about this planet that makes it worth paying attention to. First off, even if this planet turns out to be more like a Neptune-type gas world, there's a chance it could have one or more large moons orbiting around it. Next, the scientific data we have on this planet still needs to be analyzed and verified with greater precision. It's entirely possible that the planet is actually a little farther from its star, and perhaps not quite as massive as initial estimates suggest. And if that turns out to be the case, then Pi Mensae d could end up being something like a slightly warmer version of Earth, a very exciting possibility. Lalande 21185d. Lalande 21185 is one of the stars located closest to our Sun, sitting just a little over 8 light-years away from Earth. Although it's classified as a red dwarf, Lalande 21185 is actually quite bright, and like Gliese 514, it's unusually large and massive for a star of this type. This star system is currently known to host a total of 3 confirmed planets orbiting around it. The first planet is far too close to the star, while the second one is positioned at an extremely distant orbit. The one that fits our criteria best is the third planet, which was also the most recently discovered among the 3. This planet is officially named Lalande 21185d, and it has a mass just slightly under 4 times that of Earth. It orbits at a distance of 0.5 astronomical units from its host star, completing 1 full revolution in 215 Earth days. In terms of its position within the system, it would be roughly equivalent to Venus's orbit in our own solar system. Since Lalande 21185 is a red dwarf star, this planet is likely to be quite cold, possibly much colder than Earth. However, if the planet has an atmosphere that contains greenhouse gases, and given that it's not too far from its star, it might still be able to maintain a moderately warm surface temperature. HD 24040c. HD 24040 is a star whose mass and brightness are both fairly close to those of our own Sun. It's located 152 light-years away from Earth, in the direction of the constellation Taurus. Back in 2006, astronomers discovered a massive planet orbiting this star that has around 4 times the mass of Jupiter. That giant planet follows an orbit located approximately 4.5 astronomical units away from its host star. For many years, this rather unremarkable gas giant was the only known planet in the HD 24040 system. Then, in 2021, another planet was identified in the same system, changing what we thought we knew. That new world is called HD 24040c, and it brought a lot of renewed attention to the system. Compared to the first discovery, this second planet immediately sparked much more scientific interest. Most notably, HD 24040c orbits at a distance of about 1.3 astronomical units from its star. In terms of our solar system, that would place it somewhere between Earth and Mars, but leaning closer to Earth's position. Its mass is believed to be equal or possibly even a bit less than that of Neptune. If it turns out that the mass of this planet has been overestimated and it's actually closer to Earth's mass than Neptune's, then it could be surprisingly Earth-like. To take it a step further, it might even resemble a full ocean planet, something like Camino from Star Wars. And if HD 24040c ends up being a giant ice world or a gas giant, there's a possibility it could host 1 or more habitable moons. HD 156668c. HD 156668 is a K-type star located about 80 light-years away from Earth, in the direction of the Hercules constellation. These so-called miniature suns are brighter, heavier, and warmer than red dwarfs, but as we mentioned earlier in this video, they're still not quite on the same level as our G-type sun. Many scientists actually believe that stars of the K-type are the ideal candidates when it comes to hosting habitable planets. That's mainly because K-type stars tend to be calm and stable, and they also live for incredibly long periods, tens of billions of years. For a long time, astronomers had only confirmed the presence of a single planet orbiting HD 156668. The first planet is a scorching hot super-Earth that completes a full orbit in just a little over a single day. But in 2021, another planet was confirmed in this system, adding a new twist to what we knew. That newly identified world has been named HD 15668c. It's estimated to orbit 1.5 astronomical units from its star, with a full revolution taking approximately 811 days. If we were to imagine this planet placed within our own solar system, it would most likely fall right inside the habitable zone. However, since HD 156668 is a bit dimmer than the Sun, this planet is probably sitting just barely on the edge of that habitable range. That said, most of its other characteristics appear to be pretty similar to what we see on Earth. And if the planet has a dense enough atmosphere, it could potentially trap enough heat to prevent the surface from freezing over. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. We really appreciate you spending your time with us. As you can see, trying to find new planets that are truly similar to Earth is still incredibly difficult. Most of the planets that scientists discover tend to fall into a few specific categories. Either they're massive gas giants like Jupiter, orbit way too close to their stars, revolve around dim red dwarfs, or sometimes even check all of those boxes at once. Still, there are at least a few planets out there that give us a real reason to stay hopeful and keep searching. Who knows? Maybe somewhere among the worlds we introduced today, we'll one day make contact with intelligent life. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you enjoyed the video. And while you're at it, be sure to share this video with your friends on social media. We'd really appreciate your support. It helps our channel grow and keeps these videos coming. Until next time, take care and goodbye for now.